This is our tobacco. We're growing tobacco. Every time I come out the back door, I get a little bit of nostalgia because, as some of you may know, I grew up in northern Kentucky. So that's really cool. As you can tell, tobacco is super healthy, and you could probably also guess what we're using on this, and that would be our amazing soil probiotic, mushroom soil probiotic. So yeah, just want to show you that, and hang tight. I'm going to show you some more stuff. Hey guys, welcome back to our little experiment raised bed garden. So of course we make this soil probiotic, we have to use it. So we do our own data and we grow and stuff with it. And this year we're growing tomatoes, as some of you may have seen in the past on some of our past videos. We just want to give you an update of current events and how the performance of the mushroom soil probiotic is. So cherry tomatoes, look at these guys. Currently these plants are probably about 9 feet tall, something like that. As you can tell, super healthy. Everything's flowering, it's producing tomatoes, it's beginning to produce a lot. Something that I wanted to mention is whenever you're using a mushroom soil probiotic, it basically it has minimal, if any, amount of nitrogen in it. So when you're growing plants, you need to fertilize as usual. What the soil probiotic does is it helps the soil and the plant become more efficient and effective. So when you do add nutrients to it, the plant can really absorb those really easy and more efficiently, right? So a good way to describe this would be, if you don't have a really good gut biome and you eat, and someone else has an amazing gut biome and they eat, they're gonna actually benefit more from that food than what you would, because your gut biome is off. So that's the same concept with your plants. The soil is the gut of the plant. And so with good biome, with good organisms in this array and community of organisms that is in our soil probiotic, the plant can have a good biome and it can uptake nutrients and do all that fancy stuff that soil does. So yeah, I mean, the proof's in the pudding on this stuff, guys. You can see all that we do is we fertilize as usual, and we just use organic fertilizers. I just use some meal. Chicken manure is a great fertilizer for tomatoes, as some of you may know already, but a lot of people are scared to use it. And I think I did a video in the past where I just kind of showed you a really safe way to utilize the chicken manure, to where you basically dig a small trench away from your plant and then you bury the fertilizer, and that way it's more forgiving. But as you can see down here, these leaves are starting to curl a little bit. Okay, see this curling? So that tells me that the fertilizer is pushing its limits. So the plant is it's a little shocked on the bottom for the fertilizer, but I've been going really heavy on it because this is part of our experiment with our soil probiotic. We want to push these plants as far as they can go and get the most bang for our buck out of them, because that's what farmers do. Farmers are trying to push the limits to get more return, to get more money back, because farming it can be very unforgiving in so many ways. So it's just a matter of taking what energy you have, put it into something, and trying to get the most out of it. That's the name of the game. So it's another term they call that is biological efficiency. So it's how much are you putting in and how much are you getting out, biologically. So anyways, just give you a little further tour thing. This also is the patty pan squash. These things are just ridiculous. There's a ton of flowers going on in here. You can get a good view of that. Ton of flowers. We got a lot of patty pan coming in on the other side, I believe. But another thing I'd like to point out is look at the minimal, if any, amount of insect damage on any of these plants. So any of them, they have minimal, if any, insect damage. And so that's, again, that a big part of that is the immune response of the plant. So the plant has its own defense mechanisms, and there's a nice little symbiotic relationship with other organisms that you can't see with the naked eye, that they're on the leaves of these plants. And so when these other insects come, these other organisms discourage them from destroying the plant, because it's just not good. So here, this is really cool, something I want to show you guys. So you can see all these flies here on this. This is a Japanese eggplant, and there's a little bit of bites on it, but look at all the flies on here. So we actually came out and we saw all these flies on this thing, and we actually saw these aphids on the other side. You can see on the other side of the leaves, it's got a bunch of these aphids on there, and look at the flies. The flies are just all over it. So it looks as if these flies are after these aphids. It's a different type of fly. It's not your average household fly, and they're only on the eggplant, and they're just another organism that's helping fight the pest of just a larger organism, helping fight the pest on these Japanese eggplants. A lot of people have a hard time growing these, and this is our first year growing them, and so far so good. Pretty impressed. This thing's been producing quite well. As you can see, where we have some at here. Yeah, there's some here. We got some hello, look at Japanese eggplant right there. That sucker's coming in. We harvested one. Generally, from what I've read, you harvest these about 6 to 8 inches, something like that. So again, we're going to push the limits and see how far they can go. But everything's just really lush, really exciting stuff. And the reasoning to publish this video is because I just want to show you guys the potential of this stuff, and also I want to show a lot of farmers and vineyards. So I'm really excited to get some local vineyards in the hill country online with this, just to see the potential that this can have on the influence of grapes and wine, and so it potentially could change the flavor in really good ways. It'll help the plants become more resilient. We've seen that. It definitely promotes plant resilience big time, which is a big deal. So we're really proud of that, really excited about that. Anyhow, thanks for watching, guys. Hey, so something else that I wanted to point out to you guys, I want to show you. This is really cool, and just to kind of prove this, that I did not put any worms in here or anything, we're just going to do this freely. And I'm going to reach in here and I'm going to grab some soil, I'm going to pull it out, and I want you to see all of the worms that are in this. Now keep in mind, we do not put any worms in here. This raised bed is approximately 8 inches tall, about 8 to 10 inches, and that's as far as it goes. We don't, it actually has a landscaping fabric beneath it to keep the weeds down, but there's only about 10 inches of soil here, and our tomatoes are doing this well. So I'm gonna reach in here. You don't have to get so close, but I'm gonna reach in here and I'm just gonna grab a little bit of soil here just from the top, and I'm gonna open it up. Now look at just one grab of this soil, and you can see, look at all the baby worms in there. Tons of worms, tons of life in the soil. And these worms are wonderful. They're breaking this stuff down even further, and they're processing it even further for the plant to receive it. Just a wonderful sign of amazing health. I don't know what that dude is, but he's a big part of it too. He's at the party. And like there's a black soldier fly larvae there. I know that one. Some black soldier larvae, some worms in there, some red wigglers. Beautiful signs of healthy soil when you got all this life in there. So it's a really important thing I wanted to show you guys. And we'll actually pull out another one here. Look, I'll grab another one over here. And here's another, and more worms. Look at that. Now if you can reach in your raised bed and grab some soil and pull out some worms, you got something going on, guys. You got something going on. So Again, awesome signs of awesome soil health. These organisms, they've been here a lot longer than we have. So I believe that traditional agriculture has been just kind of on such a high demand and so stressed for so long that that we kind of lost touch with the potential of these organisms. And that's what's really exciting to me. I believe that these organisms have way more potential than we realize, and that we're getting to a point now to where there's a lot of stress with food shortages and such, that we're going to start to understand more about what we currently have, and again, become more efficient human beings. So pretty cool stuff. Thanks again for watching, guys. See ya.